Former Vice President Mike Pence is not planning on testifying about his role in January 6th. He told reporters on Wednesday that he plans to fight a subpoena from special counsel Jack Smith, saying this: no vice president has ever been subject to a subpoena to testify about the president with whom they served. Okay, well, I mean, no president has incited a riot because he lost an election either, but here we are. It's kind of the situation that we're in. Now, he continued saying this. For me, this is a moment where you have to decide where you stand, and I stand on the Constitution of the United States.
USA, USA, USA.
Okay. And said, on January 6th, President Trump was wrong. As I've said before, his words were reckless, and they endangered my family and everyone at the Capitol. They were trying to kill you. I had no right to overturn the election, but I would say in this very moment, it's also wrong to establish a precedent where a legislative official can be called into court by the executive branch. So, look, that's part of his legal defense, by the way, which is interesting, if not a little, I don't know, desperate. Basically, he's claiming that, oh, you know, on January 6th, I was a member of the Senate. I was part of the legislative body. And so, you know, that's why I can't, that's why I have immunity. Because you just can't call me in, you know, to make me testify. You know, because I was a member of the Senate on that day. Oh, okay. That's very, very shaky legal ground. Okay. Nonetheless, he's doing it. In fact, he says, we're prepared to take this fight into the court, adding the expect Trump will also challenge the subpoena on executive privilege. Yeah, of course. So now look, here's my take about this. Mike Pence is a bitch. He's a coward. and look, he wants it both ways. All right. Now, why do I say that? Because it's obvious that Mike Pence has political ambitions. Yes, he wants to jump into the 2024 race. Is he going to challenge Trump? Yes and no. Yes, obviously, because he might be going for the nomination. There's a good chance he'll be jumping in. And of course, that'll be direct challenge to Donald Trump. At the same time, he won't actually speak out and challenge Trump. The only thing that he says is, well, I think January 6th was wrong. Okay. Now, Republicans like him have a tightrope that they have to walk, right? They need the Trump base. They gotta have the Trump base in order to get through the primary. But then after you're through the primary and into the general election, you're gonna have to somehow appeal to enough independents and Republicans to win the general election. And for Pence, he ain't gonna make it through that primary. He is persona non grata among the MAGA base. They don't like him. And they don't like him because he's a standard slimy politician and a complete coward. And that just happened to speak out against Trump and didn't steal the election for them. What Trump tweeted about him on January 6th was actually true. He didn't have what it takes. Now, the reason, of course, he didn't have what it takes is because he was so cowardly. He didn't want to do anything to put his ass on the line. He did what he did not because he cared about the country and democracy. No, he did it because he knew that it wouldn't work and would actually lead to negative consequences for himself. And I say that because before, he would try different legal tactics in order to see if they could overturn the election. They couldn't find anything. There was no constitutional provisions to allow the overturning of an election. Pence also, by the way, had backed the 11 senators, Republican senators, who tried to delay the certification based on voter fraud. In fact, his former chief of staff, Mark Short, said the former vice president, quote, shared the concern of millions of Americans about voter fraud and irregularities in the last election. The vice president welcomes the efforts of members of the House and Senate to use the authority they have under the law to raise objections and bring forward evidence before the Congress and the American people on January 6th. No, they didn't have evidence. 60 court cases. Couldn't come up with a goddamn thing because they didn't have a goddamn thing. And so, obviously, Mike Pence knew that, that there was no path forward. Donald Trump, however, did not know that there was no path forward. Well, actually, he did know, and he didn't care. He didn't care. He wanted to do this robbery anyway, to steal democracy. Except that he wanted Mike Pence to be both the getaway driver and the guy holding up the tellers in this bank analogy. And he didn't want to do it, understandably so. But that enough means that Mike Pence, he never going to be ever trusted by Republicans. Their Trump supporters are never going to forgive what Mike Pence had done, no matter how uncooperative he is with the January 6th probe, with Jack Smith. No. Again, they're never going to forgive him for it. As far as the establishment goes, he's not going to get establishment support either. They already have a favorite hyping the hell out of Ron DeSantis. And so Mike Pence's presidential ambitions, he might as well just give them up now, because he ain't going nowhere.